All right. My name's Barry Mooring. I'm the Benton County Judge. I wanted to give an update on relief efforts pertaining to the disaster and tornado event we had this last weekend. Behind me, I have some folks that are going to help me with this. Got Robert McGowan, who is our Administrator of Public Safety, Rogers Mayor Greg Hines. I've got our Sheriff, Sean Holloway, Mayor of Bentonville, Stephanie Orman, and Rod Grieve, our Benton County Assessor. And we're going to just take you through step by step. Our goal here today is to make sure that as we go into the weekend, people have information about what we've done to date and what citizens need to be thinking about who are affected by this storm. First thing I want to say is we were really, really pleased that overnight we got the federal disaster declaration. That is a really big deal. We don't deal with disasters every day, but FEMA and the federal government does, and that disaster declaration means that the cavalry is basically on the way. This is a disaster declaration for private property at the moment. We expect it to also be for public property here before too long. And what that means is FEMA is going to set up something called a disaster recovery center. We expect there to be one in Benton County, where individuals can go and actually apply for federal disaster aid. They'll also be able to do it online. And my understanding is, I think they'll be able to do it online as of today out at the FEMA website. This will be for individuals and businesses who are impacted by the storm. And so that's a really, really big deal. I was just on a briefing by Governor Sanders and her team for all the county judges in the counties that were affected, and that was very, very assuring to know that they're out there and that they're on their way. Just a couple other things to give you an update on, and then we'll open it up for questions. At Benton County, we do have a website now. If you go to our main Benton County website, you can link to our website, and there's a specific URL. That website has all of our information that I'm going to share with you today about what's going on in the county, all of the resources we have, and all the things that citizens need to be thinking about. We will update that website on a regular basis, and I'm sure some of the other entities have websites as well. Another thing that happened in the last 24 hours or so that was really important is Governor Sanders signed an executive order that moved off the assessment, the personal property assessment deadline that was to be today. That won't now be until June 30th. Our assessor is here if you have any questions about that. That's going to be a big deal for people who haven't assessed their property to date or hadn't had a chance to do it. And now this week they're dealing with a disaster. So that's a lot of grace coming from the governor's office for that. We also have a couple of flyers that you can print out at that website I told you about. Real simple flyers. If you want to walk your neighborhood or you're part of a church group and you just want to hand out flyers in unincorporated Benton County about what to do with debris and waste, that's a flyer that can help you with that. We've been asked for simple tools like that people can utilize. And of course, the cities will have their own information about how to handle that in the cities. From a debris cleanup standpoint, in Benton County, we have opened up 3 debris dump sites. Those are at the Benton County Fairgrounds on the west side off of 279. The other one is at the Decatur Road Yard, which is over in the Decatur area. That address is online, but I'll give it to you in a second. 200 Spavinaw Avenue. I just always refer to it as Decatur Road Yard. And then we've opened up another debris site up on Highway 62, the address 603 South Highway 62. That's a Rogers address. A couple of important things about those sites. One is they're going to be open from 7 to 7, Monday through Saturday. Those are the sites that for Benton County that the National Guard is helping us with traffic control. Really important as people start to fill up those trailers and come in. We think that we might have some traffic needs there. Other important information about those debris sites. Those are for private citizens. So if you're a private citizen, you load up your trailer and you bring it to the dump site, the debris site, no problem. That's also for charities. But if you're a contractor, we cannot take your waste at these sites if you're a contractor. It is illegal for us to do so. We also can only take vegetative debris right now. So you can't load up your construction waste or your broken furniture and things like that. We will have more information coming on what to be able to do with that. But at this point, we're really talking about vegetative debris only, private citizens only, 7 to 7 at those sites. I'll also encourage you to go to the Benton County Citizen Damage Reporter. That's out at that webpage I told you about. If you go to the Benton County webpage and then you click on the link to that disaster relief page that we have, the damage report is really important. about 2,400 citizens who have done that now. And that basically preloads a lot of information. Now that FEMA has declared a disaster, that database will be shared with FEMA. When you go meet with them, that information will already be there. That database will already be there. It also helps us keep an accounting of how many people really have had damage to their homes. And like I said, right now we've had 2,400 people that have gone out there. We expect that to go up significantly. There have been places in the county, I'll talk about the Decatur area for a second, that haven't had Wi-Fi or internet service. They haven't had the ability to do that. I talked to Mayor Tharp out there this morning. They're getting the Decatur Library open back up, and they're going to be able to now offer services to their folks out there to get on that website and get their damage included on that damage reporter. He expects to have 40 to 45 people doing that imminently. So Decatur hasn't even been able to do that yet. So that's really important. And then the final thing that's out on that website is just our facility closures. Benton County facilities were hit pretty hard. We've had our courthouse here closed. We've had our Rogers facility closed. Division I criminal court is going to move into this room starting on Monday. And we're going to have to make some changes about how we have our offices open and our courts open. Probably one of the most important things is going back to that personal property assessment and our collectors and assessors offices around the county. We were down in all of those because our servers were over in our Rogers facility, and those were basically without electricity and potentially damaged. And we had to bring those back online before we could bring any of our offices back online. We are now working on that very diligently and hope to have our 3 offices in Bentonville, Siloam, and Gravette open next week, as well as our website for the assessor and collector. Our Rogers office is not going to be open for a while. That's the big DF&A office, the DMV, if you will, in Rogers. That office won't be open for a while, but we'll be sure to update the website when it's open. So with that, I'm going to have Mayor Orman. Actually, Sheriff Holiday, do you have anything you want to add today?
I don't, unless I'll take questions at the end of that.
Okay. And then I'm going to have Mayor Orman come up, and then Mayor Hines, and then if you have any questions for our assessor, Rod Grebe, and then we'll just take questions across the board.
Okay, well, we've been trying to share updates through our social media, so if you're a Bentonville resident, we would ask that we direct you to there. We had about 96 roads that were closed at the beginning of the storm. Last night we were down to about 8 or 9. We continue to have our electric crews out. We have mutual aid cities coming in that are helping us with that, and we are down to about 600 roughly customers that are out, so they've been working hard from about 10,000 that were originally out. So we now have shifted some of our crews to debris pickup, and so we're going to be informing the public of maybe some scheduling with that. But right now, we've got volunteers out that are just helping neighbors and getting it into trailers and getting it to one of our 2 facilities that we have for Bentonville residents. We have been asking that you do bring your Bentonville utility with us, but the county also has 3 facilities open for the other cities in the county. So we're just encouraging our residents to make sure that to check on your neighbor. I will say that that's been the one thing that we have seen consistently throughout this disaster is that people are out helping each other. So we hope this weekend, and we see people doing the same thing, getting out, helping people to get the debris, and then also we want to make sure that now that the disaster has been declared, that we are encouraging all of our residents to make sure that they get their damage reported, and we'll be continuing to update people. We're also going to be very coordinated with the state level on some of the communication in the county, so that it's not confusing for the residents. Sometimes you might have county information, Bentonville information. I know there was some interchanging information on a boil order, water order, and Bentonville is not under a boil water order. So we're just going to try to give as much consistent communication out to the public. Please, we've got several numbers, but you can always call the mayor's office, but watch our social media. That'll be the best resource for everybody.
Great. Thank you all. Real quick, I just want to jump on to what the judge said, and that is that this is a huge deal. This is the moment that we have been waiting for since we all sort of settled in after Sunday morning. This opens up and allows us to start the process of recovery. And while our local crews have been diligently working from sunup to sundown to clear roads and to help move debris so that our electric companies could reestablish power to residents and businesses businesses, they'll now be able to shift that role and start with the cleanup. This also means that we'll now be able to execute contracts for both our monitoring companies as well as the company or companies that will be involved in picking up the storm debris over the next many months. And so this is a monumental task that we've been waiting for the governor and the president to execute, and now that has been done. I think it's really important to jump also on the point that these sites that we've had open now for several days for our residents to drop the storm debris have been well used. We've at both sites, which I'll give you the addresses of 3101 West Oak and 2300 North Arkansas Street. We also have the ability for folks to get rid of food waste at those sites, and we're currently, and maybe by this afternoon, even going to have a solution for household trash as well as construction debris to be picked up at that, dropped off at that site as well. Again, it requires you to prove that you are a Rogers resident and not a commercial hauler. The thing I would say to the public that are hiring and choosing to hire local landscape companies, there's no problem with that, okay? That's fine to do. But just understand, they're bidding, inside their bid, they are billing you to take that debris to the landfill because that's the only place they can take it. And so to have them come to our facility and folks get upset because the hauler leaves and then calls them back and says, hey, we weren't able to dump this at the free site that the city has open for residents, and so that's a problem. So it's a bit of miscommunication. I hate that it's out there, but I just think that residents need to understand, business owners and residents just need to understand that when you hire a local person right now, they're billing you to take this stuff to the landfill. Now, once we're able to get our 2 monitored sites open, those are secure sites where the public are not allowed. They're only sites where professionals can drop debris off. Once those are open, and we couldn't open those or hire those folks until this declaration came through. So once we establish those, then these local landscape firms will be able to come to that location to drop off debris once we're able to monitor it. So that's the most important message going into the weekend, is understand that we want you to solve your problems if you can. I want to encourage that. I'm trying to do that myself, but you kind of have to know the state of play, and that's where we're at on that. The reestablishing of power is going well. I couldn't say enough great words about SWEPCO and their response to this disaster. They have brought thousands and thousands of people online every day as we go along. I would also think that in conjunction with that power reestablishing, that I want to give a shout out to our National Guard. These folks have been embedded with those crews to try to keep traffic off of them and keep them focused on reestablishing power, and that has really gone smooth. And so I don't know where we'd be without their help right now as it relates to protecting their staging site, to protecting and handling the way that traffic flows through that area. So that's been a huge success. And other than that, we'll continue to roll out information. It was briefly mentioned here, but I think I want to drive this point home too as well. Your best source of information ends in .gov. It's not Facebook, and it's not X. If you need to find information about what your city and your county are doing as a result of this storm and how we are instructing citizens to proceed forward, look at your county website, look at the city websites, call the city, call the county. We are the best source of information. I know everybody wants to be helpful, but rumors sometimes get in the way, and so don't fall into the rumor. Just get the facts, and we're going to get through this. It's tough right now. I mean, I got to tell you, even folks that didn't lose property or life in this, it's still an emotional time for the community. And look, here's the thing. It doesn't even matter if you're from this community. If you're here and you just see this devastation on the ground and you look in the faces of some of the folks that have found themselves displaced, you can't help, if you're a decent person, but become a little bit emotional about that. So we just want to ask folks to extend grace and kindness as we try to get through this together. Thank you.
Any questions?
Yeah. Judge, what kind of mental health resources is the county providing? Have you guys been able to figure some of those out?
You know, that would just be purely on a referral basis. We don't have within county government a mental health resource, so we would be able to have to refer those out. So I don't really have a lot of details on that this early in, but I'm sure that there are people out there that need those resources, and they're available in our community. Talk to your provider is the best advice I have right now.
What long-term housing options have you been thinking about figuring out?
Yeah, so this is actually going to be, I would say there are two issues, and when I was on with the governor earlier with our fellow county judges, the two needs that I think are going to be really acute as we go forward are going to be housing and shelter. That's going to be an issue, as well as debris removal. Those two things are going to be really, really important. We've put that on the radar at the governor's office and the Arkansas Department of Emergency Management, as well as with FEMA. And so we're going to work with them on how we solve that problem. I don't have a solution here today, but we're going to be working on that. We know that we had a housing problem before the disaster hit, and so this will make that only more acute. On debris removal, similar to what the mayor said at the county, we are initiating our contracting process to make sure that we have professional debris removal folks coming in to work on getting debris out of the right-of-way for people who can get the debris there, and we'll be working on that all summer. This is going to be a huge task. My understanding is in Little Rock, they're still working on that from last year's disaster.
Any update on the 3 people that were injured? Any updates on that?
3 people injured.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, the fatality count is...
Well, yeah, I guess the fatality count and some of the injuries. Somebody in our newsroom on 3 people that were injured in Benton County.
I don't have the specifics on that. A lot of times when someone is transported to the hospital because of HIPAA, we're not able to get additional information on what those injuries were or what the progress or diagnosis of those are.
So no update.
Okay.
I will say the injuries that we dealt with, other than fatalities, most of the injuries were not life-threatening.
Yeah.
They were serious injuries, but they were stable once they were loaded on.
Come up to the mic. I mean, people, so we can.
In reference to the ones we witnessed, the injuries we saw, you know, obviously to have an ambulance there was a critical injury, but most of those people were not life-threatening injuries and were transported. Beyond that, we don't know what happens then.
Yeah, how busy was search and rescue for your department?
It was very busy, just like it was in all the cities. Rogers, Decatur, Bentonville, going house to house, making sure that no one was injured or hurt. Had a lot of trees on houses. We also had many cases where we had elderly who lived by themselves who had medical needs. So getting those assessed and addressed, that was very important early on.
Will there be any kind of aid for people who have lost jobs?
So also, in addition to FEMA being on the ground, SBA's on the ground. And so the Small Business Administration will have they're currently here. They have personnel here. They'll be establishing a location where folks can come in person to fill out applications. So those applications, and my understanding is it's much more vast than what the average person would associate when you think of Small Business Administration, to the point that folks, there's examples, they can do car loans, they do home loans. They're very low fixed interest rates over 5 to 30 years in some cases. So yes, that assistance for those displaced because their business was damaged and they're an employee and maybe the owner's not leading that cause, they will have resources to help take care of themselves.
Will there be a kind of scale for how much someone's property got damaged and that equates to how much funding you'll get?
So I'm not aware of the matrix in which the SBA uses to determine the eligibility of those folks. What I can say in somewhat in line with your question, though, is that when it comes to FEMA reimbursements and/or losses of full properties, those thresholds have changed as of March and are a little easier and a little broader for folks to apply for. So I, while I can't get in the weeds because that's not the work I do, I'm sort of just telling you what I've heard from the representatives of FEMA, and they believe that those changes in March will directly affect in a positive way the folks from Northwest Arkansas that are going to need to use their services.
Will the National Guard continue to be in town throughout the weekend?
Yes. Right now, and I don't know if our orders are the same, but right now our general orders go through next Friday.
Yes.
That is yours? Okay, so we're all on the same page. And that's, that's just because you have to establish expectations and determine, how to maneuver. So it doesn't necessarily mean that next Friday, everybody's gone and that won't happen again. We'll reevaluate, continue to have conversations with the governor's office and Adam and the Guard and determine the best way to move forward with that.
Is their main mission traffic control right now, or are they patrolling streets, or could that change?
So the orders that we have for the troops assigned to Rogers is for traffic control. And so if we were to want to expand, so the county's using them, we're going to use them for monitoring. Just traffic control. Okay. So if we want to change the use, that has to go back up through the chain of command within the National Guard, as well as through Adam in the governor's office. But intentionally, you want to keep those things pretty tight as far as what you're asking them to help with, both for their knowledge to send the right troops, but also so that the expectation of the community is understood as well.
Is there a budget or a cap on the amount of aid that is being given to residents through FEMA, or is it unlimited?
So it depends on the category of aid. They certainly have caps on some of their property displacement reimbursements or rebuilds, but I'm not aware of what the cap would be for, say, individual assistance. And I don't know, you may have more information than I do if you want to.
The FEMA administrator told us when she was in town that the cap per individual is $47,500. But one thing that's very important to know about this is you have to file it with your insurance first, and then anything that they don't cover and deductibles, or if you're not insured, they're going to have proof of that before they can process the claim. So you are going to have to provide some information to them to file those claims. There is a one-page document that we have that if it's not on our website yet, it will be today, which is it lists the different things that individual assistance will help those individuals with.
Is there an estimate yet of how much damage was done to just county-owned facilities, properties?
Just facilities?
Or property, because I have an estimate from the city of Rogers, but didn't know if there was one for this county.
So for buildings, just for the county, we're at $750,000, but there's additional for the debris and everything else that goes along.
Got it. Is there an updated number yet as to how many homes for sure have been deemed destroyed?
There's 2,400 to fill out the damage assessment, and several dozen of those are completely destroyed, but those were a long ways from the end of that assessment. There's a long way to go there.
Right now, we have 54 that are confirmed destroyed, but that number is increasing as we get information reported to us and as we are out assessing that damage.
Got it. Do you have the number yet of how many confirmed so far of major damage? Yesterday I was told 90. Has that gone up?
146 right now.
Thank you.
I have another housing question.
Another what?
Another housing question for the judge. I mean, I haven't looked into it, but I assume, a lot of these hotels and everything's kind of full right now, and we have shareholders coming up next week. I'm sure that's been something you guys have been thinking about. Do you have an update on if that's still happening, or how we're going to deal with housing, you know, when we have people displaced and hotels are probably full.
So I'd refer to Walmart on any questions related to shareholders. I've not been told that they're not holding shareholders. So I'm assuming, unless I've heard that, they will be. Mayor Orman might have a more specific update on that. And I'm assuming that they have their needs covered for the folks that are coming in for that. But I'd have to refer that to Walmart. Yeah.
Okay.
Do you know yet when individuals can apply in person for the FEMA assistance? So that would be like set up?
Yeah, so they will set up a center they call a disaster recovery center. I don't know that we have an exact time frame yet. Do we know, Robert, when that's coming?
It should probably be at some point mid to late next week. They have to identify the locations, and there's a process they have to go through, but they will move very quickly on that.
Will there be one physical location, or will there be a few out in the county?
That is to be determined. We think we're going to have two, but we're not positive. And actually, you can go right now onto the FEMA website and apply.
And people can do that right now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Have there been any reports of scamming or looting?
Do you want to take? In the city of Rogers, we don't have we haven't had a looting issue. There have been minor thefts, but those were occurring weeks before the storm. So we've not seen any uptick, I should say, as a result of that.
Now, we've received many phone calls, people concerns being scammed by tree removal. Some of those we believe are probably scams. Another issue, in my opinion, we're seeing some price gouging. The extreme prices to remove a tree that are, talked to a lady earlier today on the phone. She had contacted the company, but she's been waiting. In the meantime, some people came to her door, knocked, and for 2 trees in her backyard, they wanted $25,000, just to give you an example of the gouging. They tried to talk her into that no one else is coming other than them. So our citizens need to be aware of that and don't get scammed by these people. You may have to wait a little while longer, but just wait for a legitimate company to come along. There's paying that kind of price. I'll contact the Attorney General if that gets out of hand and let them go from that aspect of it. But I believe some of the cities have had some scams going on. Mayor Orman, you know of any?
We have had some reports of that. I don't have the exact number.
I'll give mine. I'll just give my personal story because this one I know real well. So I have a 110-plus-year-old pecan tree that fell in my backyard, a huge old tree. Fortunately, did not land on a building. We received a bid yesterday morning for $25,000, or I'm sorry, $15,000. And now I have a bid that I got yesterday afternoon for $3,500. So
is that a fair price then, $3,500?
I think that's very fair. I think that's what it would have cost me 2 weeks ago to have the tree taken out. So.
Are there any other questions?
I'll do it for 10.
Are people from FEMA still in town assessing?
Are FEMA officials in town right now assessing? Do you know what the status is of FEMA on the ground?
No, they're not in town today. They have done the initial assessments, and they will be back in town for the disaster recovery centers when they're open, and then they'll also send teams to the cities as well as the county to do the what they call PWs for the work that they're going to be doing for the debris removal and such.
Mayor Orman, those last 600 customers, when do you think they might be up by?
These are the ones that are in the really intricate areas. We're hoping to have everybody by the end of the day, but there may be some that we don't hit that with. That was the message we sent out, and I'm again hoping, but until you get in the middle of some of that, some of them they're literally having to cut the trees and the poles and put this person on, go to the next person, put them, like we're in that phase in Bentonville, and it is very time consuming and hard work.
Can I add one? I'm going to add one other thing that I didn't talk about our facilities. So currently today we are back online with electricity and will open the Adult Wellness Center, the museum, And the Rogers Activity Center is now been deemed available to start our summer program. So we'll have 300 youth starting Monday morning at that facility. The library sustained some structural damage that we're having assessed, and so it will remain closed until that assessment has been done. And City Hall is still without power. However, we are on our generator plus 2 trailer generators, so most things are back up and running at City Hall.
Mayor Orman, can you step up real quick again? I just have one question. The compost facility, so where can people take trees in Bentonville, and how busy is that compost facility been thus far?
I think we've gotten enough. The amount of wood chips we would have gotten in a year right now, so it's very busy. We were able to open it very quickly. Our team has done a great job there. It's on Northwest A here in Bentonville, so it's kind of centrally located. So we have a lot of people going to that facility, but it was also opened very early. So we do have a secondary site now to help us.
Yeah, and I was out there yesterday. I mean, we had elderly people unloading trees, kids, dads, and the city too. What are the hours for that facility, and is it going to be open throughout the weekend, or what's that going to look like?
7 to 7. We're trying to keep it open. We currently have our staff manning all of it, even when you come in, because we're having to check on the residency and different things, and so that's where we're at with it. But it's been operating very efficiently, and actually we have some availability out at the secondary site too. So we feel like we're working pretty well right now.
And show up with proof of residence to the city of Bentonville, and you can use it.
Yes, we are asking that you do that. Yes, we're actually requiring that you do it. And that has to do with some of the documentation and different things that all of us have to do now from the disaster declaration, and it's very important that we do that so that we have the ability to have the reimbursement on the backside for all the expenses that happen with a natural disaster.
Okay, get some rest.
Any other questions? All right. Appreciate y'all coming.
Thank y'all.
Have a great weekend. Let's hope it's a little easier than this last weekend.
Go Hogs.